Hey everybody, happy Thursday evening, and just coming on now to do a quick interview with my amazing friend Jesse Jamnik, and I'm gonna wait for Jess to come on, and I love sharing stories like his, and I more so love having other people share stories. So I'm gonna bring him on now. I'm going to add him in. Let's see if we're cooperating here. And again, I like other people sharing their stories about what's working for them. Hey, Dana, good to see you here. Yo, we got it. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you
I
now.
can hear you.
Good. You still got the
We're
Christmas
good to
lights
go.
up, bro.
No, that's just like a little,
Just
I don't know what that
little
is. My
decor.
buddy put that up.
Little decor.
Little
Love it.
decor.
Well, it's good to see you, brother. It's been too long. So,
Seriously, right?
I do these interviews time to time because I like others sharing kind of like lessons. And I wanted to talk about a couple things. I wanted to talk about network marketing from a business standpoint. I wanted to talk
Yep.
about, we have very similar backgrounds, and obviously having fitness and wellness and being in competitions, and why you ended up saying yes to Isogenics and building that as a business, but also some of the things that you and I did with LinkedIn, and how I turned on that switch of the other side of network marketing, where it's okay and it's not dirty and it's not icky to prospect for the business, because we free people from physical and financial pain. So there's people
Yeah.
popping on here that maybe don't know you from my network. So if you could, just a little introduction of yourself, and what led you to Isogenics, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, first, thanks for having me. And you've been an awesome welcome to my life because you've definitely helped me open my eyes to different avenues, which is great. So, my name is Jesse James Jamnik. I'm almost 40
When's
years
when?
old. I'll be
Oh, I'll be
40 in
40 in April.
September.
So yeah, we're getting there. It's our year. The
We're
big
getting there,
4-0.
right?
Big
The
4-0.
big 4-0. My fiance tells me, congratulations, you get the black balloons this year. And I'm like, thank you so much. But the good thing is I feel like I'm 20,
Yeah.
so it's all good. It's all good. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. We just moved there 7 months ago. I grew up in New England. For me, growing up, I grew up a little fat kid. And once I got through high school, that's really when we'll call it my bodybuilding addiction kind of came into play. I was the guy that looked at the magazines and said, I want to be like that person, probably for all the
Mm.
wrong reasons. But I got into it for that purpose. Just probably like you, Scott, because we've talked, I went on this trend of, you know, supplements, wanting to get in the best shape of my life, looking for the upper edge. Really, I think I got into it because I didn't feel like I fit in. And I've worked a lot with my mind, and not fitting in and being made fun of my entire life kind of led me down a wrong path. I spent a couple years on the drug path, which is definitely not a good path. Thankfully I didn't get addicted, so to speak, to anything crazy. But I had my years of doing bad stuff. Then I grew up and, started to learn from mom and stuff that it was okay to tell false stories, and kind of dealt with some sexual abuse. So let's just say life necessarily growing up wasn't always the
Right.
easiest per se. And that led me down to do some things in life that, I own 1000% today. Not that I'm proud of them, but I own them. And I've learned that that's okay because who I am today is a very different person. I got into to bodybuilding. From bodybuilding, I got into obstacle course racing, and I did a ridiculous amount of Spartan races. I ended up doing 2 Spartan death races, which are 3-day long
Oof.
multi-adventure races. And then my fiance now, Crystal, got me into what I do today is ultra marathon running. So my typical races today are between 50 and 100 miles, anywhere with 14,000 to 30,000 feet of elevation change. and that's that. So what led me to this amazing company that we're part of really was kind of a fluke. 4.5 years ago, I got to a point where, I got sponsored by 4 companies. I had pretty much access to anything that you could imagine for free, not the steroid route, but any supplements or anything to that nature. I got it. You know how the so-called sponsored
Right,
athlete
which
world works, which is kind of a joke. We
doesn't
won't
work at
get
all.
into
But
that.
yeah, that's a whole other, it's a whole other
No, it's a
variety.
joke. It's like, oh, take this product that I won't put in my own body, but you should do it anyways. I did that, and when I started to see the back end of things and started to really learn the tricks and the gimmicks and all that stuff, it really pissed me off. And then I went back to nutrition school, and I really started to dive into. I was always fascinated with the human body and what made it work, and I went back to school and started to understand that food is in my belief, the most powerful legal drug on the face of this planet. And I just wanted the best nutrition possible. And I stumbled upon this company on accident through 2 friends, actually, one that I worked with and one that is, on this elite team with me, Team Isogenic, Stacy Vlegro, who ran a gym. And I think she's like 5-time Miss Fitness, not universe, but she does like the competitive gymnastics stuff, and maybe it is fitness universe. And I mean, I just respected her, and she's just a phenom. So, it made me take a look, and I looked at I was really skeptical, really, really picky at that point in time because I was sourcing everything myself. And when I looked at the science and I looked at the peer-reviewed, independent, published research and understood that you can't splice that, and this company didn't have first right of refusal like so many other companies do, I just couldn't deny it. And even knowing that, I was still a stubborn ass. And it came with a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. And I said,
Right.
all right, what do I got to lose?
So,
and I went all in.
And it's interesting because we both have similar routes, and then I think the businessman in me came out almost immediately. So it's so easy for us as wellness professionals. That's literally it. We're both going to be 40 this year. I started when I was 18, so more than half my life I've been doing this, and I'm sure you can say the same for yourself. So we can talk about nutrition, wellness, but let's talk about something that you and I did not know about when we got into health and wellness, which is network marketing. And between you and I combined, we have close to 10 years of experience. So why network marketing? And I believe there are real no stigmas anymore because it's so prevalent and so present and visible for everyone to get their hands on it. Why do you feel network marketing is such a powerful business to not only have as a side hustle for some people, but if it's something that really drives them, but something that they can make as a full-time business? Why is it so important?
Yeah. This is actually my favorite part of the company now because, I could talk about the nutrition for days and days and days, but the science backs that up. Look, at the end of the day, who doesn't want extra money? Who can't benefit from extra money? Is there really a definition of I have too much money? If you look at some of the most successful people in the world, their biggest piece of financial advice is to have multiple streams of revenue coming in. And, it's funny because we're having this conversation right now in the midst of a government shutdown. And I find it funny that every time something like this happens, all of a sudden, everybody wants a side hustle. All of a sudden, everybody understands. I put up a quote the other day and it said, health is like money. You never actually understand the value of it until you don't have it. And network marketing, as our good friend Eric Worre, who's an amazing teacher in this, says, it's not perfect, but it damn sure is a better way. And I don't think people realize that, I meet so many doctors and lawyers and people that in society we put on this pedestal. And if you could dig deep into their soul and actually get them to open up, they're broke.
Yeah.
Don't let the suit fool you. Don't let the BMW fool you because they don't own it. The bank owns it. And network marketing to me it's a vehicle is what it is. It's not a magic pill. It's not a magic cure. It's a vehicle for opportunity. It's a vehicle to reward people in whatever they're willing to put into it that you can't get from traditional business today. And I know because I've ran my own
Yeah,
traditional
and
business
me
for
as well.
years.
And I think that there's two things that came to mind. You know, one is that network marketing is a marathon, it's not a sprint. And it's
Absolutely.
not the lottery either. If you're going to come into this and you think you're going to go from zero to $1 million in 3 months, you might as well go to the local gas station and get some scratch offs, because that's not this.
Yeah, don't do it.
But you know,
Don't do it.
I tell people all the time that when you say yes to network marketing, and you're the perfect example. I always tell people, network marketing is a marathon. You can take Usain Bolt, who is arguably one of the greatest short distance runners of our modern time, and you put him
Yep.
in an ultra marathon race with you. And I guarantee you, every single time, you're going to win.
We're gonna
Exactly,
crush him.
because what I've learned about network marketing, it's about pacing. It's about doing it
Hmm.
at a speed where you can do it for the rest of your life, because we hear so many people getting burnt out because they're running so hard, so fast, and then they fall flat on their face and they're exhausted. They're like, you know what? I can't even look at my laptop. I don't want to talk to people about these products anymore.
Yep.
So again, network marketing, I always tell people there's three kinds of people in this world. One, there's people that work for someone else, which means someone else is valuing your time and they're only going to pay you what they feel that you're worth. And you have the
Hmm.
opportunity to get cut off and laid off at any point without any warning. You're someone that owns your own business, like you and I have, where your business owns you and you're typically the last one to get paid. You're the first one there, the last one to leave. Or you're an independent
Yep.
contractor, like you and I have both been, where we're only getting paid when our service is performed. And then you look at network marketing, where it's the compound effect. It's not being the hunter, it's being the farmer, planting those seeds over, and
Hmm.
it's the law of numbers. You know, our job as network marketers is to collect as many answers as possible. So let's shift over to the business side of this. And you and I connected months back, through a friend of ours. And you said, listen, I need to speed things up. I need to have more conversations. And again, one of the greatest quotes that one of our mentors, Eric Worre, says, he says, the scariest moment for a network marketer is when they open that appointment book and it's empty. And most network
Hmm.
marketers, they are there. They're looking at that appointment book and they're seeing nothing but blank pages, but not us. So let's talk about LinkedIn for a second and the power that you saw in it. What I showed you when I took off the veil and I said, listen, dude, there's a whole bunch of people out there for you. How important is it to not only have leads for people that are on the products, but how important is it to have leads to talk to people about this opportunity?
I mean, like you said, it's a numbers game. I mean, I've done I ran direct sales marketing companies for the longest period of time. That's how I got into traditional business. And it's at the end of the day, the first thing we learned is law of averages, right? One out of every 10 people, whether you're selling this piece of paper or you're selling this pen, if I talk to enough people, I'm going to find a person that this pen resonates with and they're going to accept it. And I think that's a big breakdown that people understand, is because they want everybody to say yes. Well, this isn't for everybody. Okay. And, opening up something like, for instance, LinkedIn, let's say, because I'm on different social media platforms and such, LinkedIn, what it showed me was the difference of looking at somebody who's necessarily, say, an addicted dieter, or somebody who actually is ready to link arms and join forces and build. And, my upline, who you coached, Lisa, she's one of our millionaires. And I mean, her business explodes because of this. And I just couldn't deny it. I'm not the best at it right now. I'm still getting better and I'm learning, and I understand it's a time thing that I have to invest my time into. So I think people, again, it's
No,
not a magic pill. It's not a get quick tomorrow type of thing, but you're connecting with so many more business-minded people, people that are open to opportunity. And what I've come to realize is that the people that are actually already making or have a good living, let's call it a good living,
Right.
whether that's whatever, okay? They're actually more open
To make more
to more
money.
opportunities. It's crazy. Like the people that actually need it aren't
But the
open to
people
it and fight me, and the people that are making 150, two hundred
want
thousand
more.
dollars. They're like, dude, I'm burnt out. I'm stressed out.
So
I need another way.
why are
Like,
people obviously that don't build network marketing like I've taught you and like I do and like you do? Why are people so affected by the word no?
you know, I've studied this for a long time, Scott, and it's a personal thing that I think comes from something that's happened in their life. It's some sort of dramatic event that's happened before. And I deal a lot with this with health coaching and stuff too. And I think that they take it personal. You know, we're so worried about what somebody else is going to think of us. And this affected my life a lot because I led a lot of my life in doing things that I thought other people needed to see from me or what they needed to perceive me as, per se. I wish I had the perfect answer of why people take the word no so personally. I don't know. I know it's affected me before, but thankfully, pounding the streets, going door to door, business to business, standing out in parking lots like I did with direct sales, I learned that the no is just the
Oh,
next step to the
love
yes.
that.
It's like it's not no, it's not personal. It's not like I don't like you. It's not, how do you know if they're having a bad day? How do you know if their grandmother's in the hospital or not? How do you know if their kid's not sick with some sort of illness? It's not personal. It's just that it's not the right
Or they're
time for
just
them right now.
or they're just
That's
not
all no
interested, which
means.
is
Or they're
so.
just not interested. And it's
You
like,
know the
okay,
story
great,
of the
next.
pike and the minnows, right? All right,
The
so
pipe,
there's a
no.
story. So there was a lab in I think it was Germany or somewhere in Europe, and they took a pike, which is a big fish, and they put it into a fish tank,
Yeah.
and they slid a glass partition, and on the other side of the partition they put a bunch of minnows, and this pike for hours was ramming its nose against this glass partition, smashing its face until it eventually gave up. So then, after it gave up, it swam to the other side. They removed the partition, and guess what happened? Didn't go
He
after
didn't
the
go after
fish,
the fish.
because what they found is that you end up conditioning yourself with a specific response that you never end up taking that chance ever again. So with human beings, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. When people bang their nose and they get too many no's and it's no, 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 they precondition themselves to think that they're never going to hear yes ever again, so they don't even bother talking to people anymore. So when you reverse
Yeah.
the psychology of prospecting and building a network marketing business, you know my favorite book is Go for No, because it says, yes is the destination, but no is the journey. So there's this insurance company. It's in Chicago, and they have an award ceremony every year for their life insurance agents, that obviously the big producers,
Mm-hmm.
and they have two awards. They have something called the Producer's Pin Award and the Go for No Award. So you would think the
Love it.
Producer Pin Award was the top award. So the top producers in the company get this award, but the top award that the company gives out is the Go for No Award. The person that gets the most
Love it.
no's in a calendar year. But here's what they said started happening. They started it about 10 years ago, and they said at about year 3, all of the people that were getting the top performance pin were also getting the Go for No award, because the people that were going for no and were getting the most answers were also getting the most yeses, which means they were closing the most sales. And I just finished reading this book for the 5th time again. And every time I read this book, I'm like,
Yeah.
why are people so afraid of no? When you say yes to network marketing, you are your own boss, you control your own path, and you are, like you said, talk to 10, get one. Talk to 10, get one. Talk to 10, get one. So something that I do, that I always instruct people to do, is do no goals. Not like don't have any goals, like no goals. Where if I said, Jesse, what's your goal this week? And you're like, oh, I want to roll 2 people, right? You just closed someone before we got on here. And it's Monday, you have 4 calls set up, and 2 people say yes and 2 people say no. Well, I hit my goal of 2 yeses. So then what do people do? They stop. But if you reverse it and you say, Scott, you know what? I want to get 20 no's a week. I'm like, okay. So Monday rolls around again. You close your 2 people and you get your 2 no's. Guess what? You still have 18 more no's to go get, which means you're going to be on that phone the rest of that week. So as you collect those no's, guess what follow right behind? The yeses. Exactly.
More yeses.
So let's talk about for a second where network marketing is going now, because you and I have obviously seen so much change over the last 5 years. It's not a mystery anymore. It's out there. So if somebody is watching this, maybe they're in network marketing, but they're not on LinkedIn. They're afraid. They don't have a team. I don't know how to build a business. Why do people have to get on LinkedIn to start having more conversations? But more importantly, why network marketing from a business building standpoint is so important for them to dive into?
Okay, so that's 2 parts. So LinkedIn LinkedIn's platform was set up for business transactions, like period, exclamation mark, right? Like when you're on LinkedIn, you're looking for business, right? Like you're looking to create connections. Maybe it leads to something, maybe it doesn't, wherever the case may be. People do referral businesses and so on and so forth, right? So to not be on, when I read Gary Vee's new book, right? He lays it out. He's like, for you to not do one platform and just do another, he goes, it's just plain stupid. He goes, why would you not be on the different platforms? But specifically business wise, if you take the statistics of Facebook or the statistics of Instagram, and Instagram, people crush it on Instagram, people crush it on Facebook. Like it's like health, it's bio-individuality, right? But for LinkedIn purposes, if you look at the structure of LinkedIn and what it's there for, it's just silly not to be engaged in it. It just makes sense. And then the second part, what was the second part? The networking?
Like getting into network marketing and saying, yes, I want to build a team. The importance of residual income, the importance of talking about the business side of network marketing. Like we've all had, so like I'll share a quick story with you, and I want you to share an aha moment. So when I had a close family member of mine that was battling an illness, I had to take off about 3 days, of my normal production here at my condo, and I had to go to the hospital to be with them, to take care of them. But the flexibility of this business, as long as I had a Wi-Fi connection, I was in business. And when my relative was napping and I can go into the visitor waiting room, I could do some calls, I could do some emailing, I could do all my stuff.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful that I had this business building where I can do it from anywhere and anywhere, no matter the circumstance. What's a story like that for you?
I live it, honestly, it's everyday life for me. Like I'm sitting in my house in North Attleboro, Massachusetts right now. I told you in the beginning, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a beautiful 8-year-old princess, daughter of mine, that lives in Massachusetts. And every 2 weeks, I fly back to Massachusetts from Charlotte to come and spend Thursday through Monday with her, because that's daddy time, and dad's the greatest thing in the world right now. And having that type of flexibility where I don't have to worry about, holding down hours or asking somebody for time off or whatever. I work from wherever I want, and I think that gets let me just make sure that people understand this, because this is really important. Too many people promote this fantasy, which is what gave this beautiful industry the wrong impression in the first place. When we say we can work from wherever, you don't work when you're on the freaking beach. You go to the beach to lay on the beach. Okay, like you go in your bathing suit and you sit by the pool
And you
and you have a
relax.
margarita and you lay by
Right.
the damn pool and relax. What I mean, like working from wherever, is the fact that, bro, I'm
Right.
connecting wherever I'm at. I'm talking to people on the plane. I'm talking to, people when I'm here. I'm talking to people when I'm there. Like, I have the flexibility to be able to literally work from wherever I'm at when I choose. Like, if I want to choose to work and answer an email or talk when I'm on vacation, I can do that, or I can just be on vacation. The power of residual income, I mean, again, let's just go back to real life today. I mean, look at what's happening. This is not like, again, this is the government shutdown, but I know friends of mine, personal friends of mine, that have worked for a company for 15, 16, one of them was even 20 years. And literally on a Monday morning or Friday afternoon, all of a sudden, no advance notice, no nothing. It was like, hey, by the way, your position no longer exists. Now, if you're a mom or a dad and you have kids and you have a mortgage and you have bills and you have all these other things that you have to take care of, the average person in America does not have enough put away to cover a $1,000
Jeez.
emergency. That's a true, I
I
wish that
know.
was an opinion of mine, but that is an actual true statistic. Now, the power of residual income is understanding that money flows when things happen versus linear income where you have to exchange time for money. As a personal trainer, if I didn't show up
No
and
money.
train people, or I didn't have health coaching clients that I'm spending 45 minutes with and exchanging that time for a set dollar price that we agreed on, I don't get paid. However, if I have to lose 4 days because of an emergency, I'm still generating residual income. And every Monday, with the company we're with, we get a magic ding
Yep.
and I'm getting paid. Does it fluctuate? Yes. Am I where I want to
Because we're
be?
not.
Hell no. Do I know
Yes.
where I'm going? Yes. But the power of it, I don't think people realize that even to make an extra $500 a month, how much money you actually have to have in the bank to get back on standard interest, it's mind blowing. Unless you have like $700,000 of spare change laying around to get back $500 on a regular percentage rate, bro,
It's silly. It's
it's
silly. I
just.
know because
I'm trying to
I
keep this
know.
as simple as
I
possible
know.
because
Me
this
too. I'm
fires
the
me
same
up.
way. I'm the same
But
way. But here's the thing. This is about the law of conversation, and I was breaking down for someone earlier that the person who talks to the most people wins, and I thought about how people keep pounding the pavement on Facebook, and they're posting the same way every day. They have the same friends every day. No one's responding every day. And then you go onto a platform like LinkedIn where you're allowed 30,000 brand new connections of people that you don't know. You can search by city, you can search by
yeah,
state, you can search by country, by province, everywhere. And the fact of the matter is that if you want something bad enough, you will do whatever it takes to get it. And just like you, I'm the same way. I I have such audacious goals for myself that they don't scare me, but they have to be big enough where you're like, man, that's a big goal. And it's not going to stop because I'm going to keep pushing forward each and every year, always looking to improve. The teacher is always being taught. And that's the thing. When you feel
mhm.
like you know everything, you actually know nothing. So before we end today,
before we end today. Here, wait, real quick, just real quick on LinkedIn, right? This is what I think happened because I'm gonna share a real raw story. Okay, you taught me LinkedIn and everything clicked and it made sense to me, and I dove into LinkedIn and then I stopped going and then I dove in. I screwed up, and I'm just gonna I screwed up because I'm back at it again. And here's where I screwed up is because I wasn't consistent. It was the problem that people have is that when something new comes in, it's so easy to give up. It's so hard to stay committed. Listen, we have a problem as adults today of commitment.
Yeah.
And it's the same reason that we deal with bad health is because we're not committed. You know what I mean? We're like the world's not fat because, we're eating too many extra calories and not burning enough. Like that's stupid. Caloric intake is dumb, right? We're eating too much because we're not committed to the right things and we're not doing the right things. And that's the problem when people fail with new platforms, is because it's not the norm, if you will, right? And it's not something you're accustomed to and used to. And you got to, in order to grow, I think we've all heard it. This is the circle, and inside the circle is the comfort zone. You know what happens inside the comfort zone? Shit. Nothing happens inside the comfort zone. You got to step outside the comfort zone, and you got to get uncomfortable and be okay with being uncomfortable. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And you're going to have a lot more conversations. You're going to take a lot more no's. And we've already touched on that, so we don't need to touch on that again. No, sorry, I just had to put it out there because I think that's the big
Everything dated everything perfectly. And you're a prime example. You're a prime example. Just moving forward today. All you have to know what happened, what it has back on links, what it has works. It works.
Yeah.
Grateful for you. Brother, so much for grateful for you. Sharing so much your wisdom and nuggets. Sharing your wisdom and nuggets in here. And if anyone's on here and you're not building your business, if just not going to motivate you, I don't know who it is. So, just grateful for you, brothers. Thank you for popping on. Such a good note. And get back on link.
Yeah, man. It's my absolute pleasure. Trust me, I'm crushing it. Right. I'm back at it every day.
Any questions, reach out. All right. You know what to do. Any questions, reach out.
You got it, buddy. All right.
All right, brother.
Talk to you soon.
All right. So, as you guys can see, Jesse's just another prime example. Take this business seriously. And if you're on Facebook all the time, and your friends list is not growing, you're posting to the same people each and every day. You want something to change in your business, you got to change something you're doing in your business. Guys, love you all so much. Jesse, again, thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.